Gormaga Cahirlock, August. I'd like to welcome Montara to the House, and I'd like to first of all say that we had good news in Carrick-on-Shore earlier this week, and I'd like to commend the Minister for Education for including Carrick-on-Shore for a new VEC school in the 5-year capital programme. Minister Kelly, you were in Carrick-on-Shore within the last 10 days, and we discussed this matter on your visit to Carrick-on-Shore, and so you will be aware of it. The situation as it stands at the moment, as of the correspondence received by the school on the 2nd of March, is that the school is to lose 8 teachers in September 2012 if the proposed cuts go ahead. 4 of these teachers were legacy posts that were in place through the Give Children an Even Break scheme. 2 teachers from the general allocation model, 1 teacher from the English as additional language, and also because of the reduction in numbers, a further teacher will be lost to the school. The school is one of, it has the highest number of teacher losses of the 15 non-DESH schools in its category. In 2001, the school received 4 posts from Giving Children an Even Break, and when the school applied for DESH status in 2005, unfortunately it was unsuccessful at that time, but the posts remained in place and they are there up to now. During the Celtic Tiger, conversely, Carrick-on-Shore actually went backwards in that period of time, and the benefits of the Celtic Tiger did not come to the town. And as a result, when the rapid areas were brought into being, Carrick-on-Shore was designated a rapid town because of its disadvantage. The South Tipperary Social Inclusion Report of 2008, based on the 2006 census, states that in the deprivation indices for the South East, the indices shows the South East at 3.5, but actually shows Carrick-on-Shore at 13.9, which indicates that it's one of the highest electoral districts of disadvantage within the country. The report highlighted the problems of unemployment and high levels of lone parent-headed families, and states that Carrick-on-Shore and district is educationally disadvantaged, with unemployment currently running at 20% in the town. The other issue within the town of Carrick-on-Shore is the high number of asylum seekers. 120 asylum seekers with from 12 different nationalities are based in Bridgewater House Hostel in Carrick-on-Shore. The total number of foreign nationals within the area has increased to 407 in 2006 from 2.9% in 2002. As a result of this, there is currently an English as additional language teacher in the school with a class of 24. In spite of the fact that there's 24 in the class, this post is due to be extinguished as a result of these cutbacks. Minister, I would ask you earnestly to consider the situation whereby a school with 26 teachers will be cut by 8, almost a third. It's not practical to run a school in this way. Now, both parents, council and the teaching staff understand and realise that there has to be some clawback of the posts. But I would ask that this would be done in a structured way, and it would be done over a number of years, and that this wouldn't happen in one fell swoop. And I'd ask you for a favourable response on the matter. Thank you.
Minister.
Thank you, Senator Landy, for the question. I'm answering this on behalf of Minister Quinn. I want to outline to the House the allocation process for primary schools, including the reforms to teacher allocation processes that are being made and that will take effect from September 2012. And in that I will address some of the Senator's concerns. The relevant appointment and retention figures for mainstream staffing for the coming year have been published on the Department's website. However, the staffing arrangement in schools for 2012 and 2013 school year, such as the school referred to by the Senator, can also be affected by changes to their enrolment, the impact of other budget measures and the reforms to the teacher allocation process. The reform of the allocation process is designed to bring a more equitable distribution of existing posts between schools, so there will inevitably be some schools that will lose posts and some schools that will gain posts. While the government has tried as best as possible to protect frontline services, difficult choices had to be made to identify savings across all government departments in line with the requirements of the EU IMF Programme of Support for Ireland. Achieving savings in education is particularly difficult given the significant increases in the overall number of pupils in our schools. Notwithstanding this, the government has protected the 8:1 pupil-to-teacher ratio at primary level, prioritised targeted support for the most disadvantaged schools, and maintained the overall number of resource teachers and SNAs to support children with special needs. The new arrangements incorporate a long overdue updating of the GAM learning support allocation for all schools. This inevitably involves changes to existing clustering arrangements whereby teachers share between schools. A further change is that schools in any locality are being empowered to cluster and arrange their GAM resources in a manner that best suits their local needs. This should be completed by schools by the 16th of March coming. There are also new and separate arrangements for how resource hours for individual pupils are converted into teaching posts in schools. The requirement for resource hours in a school varies from year to year depending on the number, if any, of its pupils with autism, etc. Small schools generally have a lower requirement for resource hours. The new arrangements take account of the later timescale for the allocation of these hours necessitated by individual assessment by the NCSE. All of the changes are designed to enable a more efficient operation of the teacher allocation and redeployment process in the new climate of a fixed ceiling of teacher numbers. The Senator will be aware that Budget 2012 provided for the phased withdrawal of approximately 428 posts allocated to some schools under disadvantaged programmes prior to the introduction of the DESH initiative in 2005. As already announced, the withdrawal of 192 posts from primary schools outside DESH Band 1 and 2 and from DESH second level schools will proceed, including the 38 posts from 15 non-DESH schools, which includes the 4 posts in the school referred by the Senator. 3 posts will also be withdrawn as a consequence of a combination of falling enrolments and reforms to the teacher allocation process. The school has the option to cluster 15 GAM EAL hours with a neighbouring school to retain a further post. The staffing schedule also includes an appeals mechanism for schools to submit an appeal under certain criteria to an independent appeals board. Details of the criteria for appeal are contained in Primary Circular 0007/2012. The existing staffing appeals criteria have been extended to enable limited phasing arrangements for schools where the combination of budget and reform measures impact on a particularly adverse manner on a school's overall allocation. Schools such as the school referred to by the Senator that are due to lose 3 or more posts as a result of a combination of the budget and reform measures will be able to apply to the Staffing Appeals Board with a view to seeking to have a portion of the loss in posts deferred to 2013-2014 school year, and that may help with the Senator's question. I might point out, having researched this, the closing date for submissions of appeals for the April meeting of the Staffing Appeal Board is the 23rd of March 2012. The Appeal Board operates independently of the Department and its decision is final. It is intended that the Appeal Board meeting will take place on Wednesday 18th of April 2012, which will be prior to the release of the main redeployment panel and allow for any impact on the Board's decisions on redeployment plans to be affected. However, it is important to note that all schools that have surplus for redeployment are required to return their completed redeployment forms to the Department on or before Friday 16th March 2012. In conclusion, I want to acknowledge the Senator's concerns. I can absolutely see the issue in the light that he has presented it. I want to assure the Senator that the Department will be working with the school and the relevant education partners to ensure that the new arrangements operate as efficiently as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Senator, do you wish to respond?
Yes, Cathaoirleach, I thank the Minister for the reply on behalf of Minister Quinn, and I would just like to say that the school are currently preparing the appeal, and I understand that it's almost finalised. I would hope the common sense would prevail. This school wants to continue to operate. It's operating in very difficult circumstances, as I've outlined the disadvantaged situation within the town, coupled with the fact that it's providing education for, this year alone, 24 asylum seeker children that are currently living in the town. So I hope that we can find a resolution, and I'm glad to see that included in the response is the fact that cognizance will be taken of all these things. So I thank the Minister for coming into the House. Thank you, Cathaoirleach.
Thank you, Senator.